Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makabrash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the 144,000, which will be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven, which will be all men, and also to the 1/3 large multitude of believers, which will be men, women, and children that will be saved, right? The large multitude, 2/3 of all people will be destroyed here in Babylon the Great. You also have the rebels that are scattered abroad that will be destroyed, and you have some elect that scattered abroad that will be saved, right? Who the world willingly and ignorantly calls so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, and Panamanians, right? Cubans, we are the Israelites, contrary to what the world wants to believe. I am your brother Yeremia, come back at y'all with another lesson. Basically, I came across this video earlier today of this young Jake. He's speaking on, basically being, so-called black here in America, right? Which we're not really not black. We know us in this truth that's, awoken, that the Lord has opened our eyes, gave us the eyes to see, right? We know that we are the Israelites of the Bible. We are the Lord's chosen people, right? But on this video, he's, talking about, like, why these nations treat us the way they do, how they use us, and then they just do away with us. That's all a part of the curses, man. It's all a part of the curses, of why these things happen to us. There's no other reason, no other book on earth is going to tell you, the answers to these things of why we go through these things as a people, right? We not the only ones as Israelites. You got Hispanics and Native Americans that are Israelites as well. But he's specifically talking about, Negroes, But I'll play the video.
Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna bring up another topic, bro. Another topic that interests me, bro. And it is, well, because I'm in it, but it's being black in America and people not getting what it's like. Like, okay, so for example, right, we're the only race that is taught, like, it's kind of taught that you can't fully trust your people, while in turn, the other races are being taught you can't trust these niggas at all.
Well, that goes, really back to, Esau, we can't trust our own people. Yeah, we can't. And then other nations not trusting us. It's all in the curses, man. Let me go to it. I'll get this one first. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 36. It says the Lord. No, not this one. 37. It says, and thou shalt become a astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Well, who's the Lord talking to? Who's talking to the Israelites? When you go up, let's go up to Deuteronomy 28, right? In verse 15, when the Lord was talking to the Israelites, right? I'll read verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, Yahweh Shai, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I commanded this day, that I will put all these curses upon thee and overtake thee. And we didn't hearken, right? And the curses don't just apply to this modern captivity, this present time. The curses have been applied to different time periods as well. But going back to the one I just read, right? These nations look at us like this because we are under curses, man. That's why, and that's also why we don't trust our own people. We that's another curse. That's 54. It says, so that the man is tender that is among you and very delicate, his eyes should be evil towards his brother and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. So that love that we used to have, that camaraderie, that togetherness, you don't have it, man. You don't have it. It's all in the curses because we went off. We didn't follow the Lord. We play a little bit of the Jake's video again.
Like, you can't trust nothing about. But the flip side to that is that, like, we can't fully mind our business because when we do, y'all still watching us and y'all still taking what y'all like from us. Like, you.
And that's also because we were the chosen people, man. Let's go to what is that? Matthew chapter 5. And I'll go back. I'm gonna switch around. This is Matthew chapter 5. In verse 14 it says, "Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on an hill cannot be hid." You see? And that's talking about the Israelites, man. Right? And I can get verse 13 as well. It says, "Ye are salt of the earth, but the salt have lost its savor. Wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." Right? You know? The Lord took away, you know, the things that would be pleasing to us, you know, his mercy, his grace, right? And look, he put us under curses, man. You know? And we were trying to foot under men. We were, you know, made subservients to those other nations. You know? But soon it's about to be flipped right side up. You know, it ain't gonna be like this for the rest of the time, or as long as we still here. You know, man. You know? And like I said, these other nations, they know who we are, man. At the end of the day, that's why they use us for what they need to use us for, and then they discard us, right? They know who we are. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me see. What's this? Iraq 12. The one I'm thinking of, Slovakia. Let me see. Slovakia, Jake. I can't think of where it's at. I thought it was in Iraq 12, the one I want to get. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a Slovakia. Need of the... Yep, this is Iraq 13 and verse 4. It says, "If thou be for his prophet, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee." You see? It says, "And if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it." You see? That's how these nations deal with us, like I said, you know. Because of the curses, you know. We disobeyed the Lord, you know. And like I said, they know who we are, man. These nations know. They understand. Right? They had a whole council, man. You go to Psalms 83, right? It says, verse 2, it says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, and they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. And they have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." You see? I'm going to skip to verse 6. It says, "The tabernacle of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre." Right? You got the Philistines, Hamites, Hagarenes, I believe are other Hamites, so-called Africans, Edomites, so-called white people, Ishmaelites, Arabs, Moabs, Chinese, right? Ammonites are Japanese. So you got all these different nations that came against us and, you know, had councils to, you know, go against us because they all hate us, right? And they're not gonna understand it because they're not under curses. Let me play the video again.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like even other races. One of the best ways to assimilate as another race is like kind of like get in with black people, and then once it's not as beneficial, once you want to move on to the next thing, then you shun them. Like, that is a known thing. Like, you can see it through every culture that has came here and like made a name for themselves. Now with like immigrants, it's a little different. Like, they're not taught to hate each other, but the rest of the world is taught to like hate them. Like, you know what I'm saying? The rest of the country. But black people get that, like, we get that if something is affecting one group, we are next on the chopping block 100% of the time. Bro, you could call it like the Post Malone method, or like just the white rapper method, bro. Like at a certain point, white rappers usually hit a ceiling, other than like Eminem. But white rappers will hit a ceiling, bro, and then it's because of like, and you think that they're more marketable, but white people want to see white people doing white people shit.
Man, they the Edomites, man. You know. But basically, what he's saying is they don't understand being a so-called black. Well, no, because they're not in the curses. You know, and nobody's so-called black. You know, he's kind of talking about, you know, stuff that kind of don't have nothing to do with that, in my opinion. You know, talking about Esau. You know, but play the video again. Now I'll bring out some more scriptures, Lord willing.
Like at some point, like, you get what I'm saying? Like they like them bad boy qualities, all them, like, you get what I'm saying? Until you see with Jack Harlow, you see with Post Malone. I thought it was gonna happen with Yeet. Luckily it didn't, bro, because like I actually fuck with Yeet. But like, bro, just business in general, bro. We don't even gotta talk about music, bro. Think about how much black people put on for like Lululemon, right? The CEO of Lululemon himself said this shit not for black people. Like, he said that himself. Or like Hennessy. The whole reason that Jay-Z came out with his own alcohol is because everybody was putting on for Hennessy, and the Hennessy owner was like, yeah, that's not really our audience. We don't really care about them. Which we also got to talk about how these companies use black rage to really like.
That's how they do, man. You know, this ain't your world, Jake, man. You know, this is a world. We in captivity right now. You know? Let me see. I might make a part 2 of this. Let me go to Sirach 10. Yep, Sirach 10 and verse 4 says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Right? It says, in the hand of Yahweh is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. You see, so, you know, us, you know, going through these different things in America, and it's not just America, but throughout the earth, it's all through the curses, Jake. You know, maybe that Jake may come across the truth. And if he do, you know, hey, if he come into it, he come into it. If he don't, he don't. But there's a reason why. You know, the answer's out here. You got the prophets. You know, so I'm going to close out for now. I might do a part 2 on this video. Lord willing, this video was edifying. I know it was kind of quick. But, hey, pray for more faith, Jake. Pray for more wisdom and knowledge. You know, we almost up out of here. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh. Shem Yahweh Shai, Issachar Mexicans, double honor to the elders, Apostle Great Millstone. Till next time, I want to say Shalom.